After nearly 2 decades of dominance on roads and racetracks worldwide, the curtain has finally fallen on one of Japan's most celebrated automotive achievements. The last R35 Nissan GT-R has quietly rolled out of the Tochigi factory, marking the end of a production run that began when smartphones were still a novelty and social media was in its infancy. This isn't just another car reaching the end of its life cycle, it's the conclusion of a chapter that redefined what a supercar could be. The final example, a premium edition T-Spec draped in the haunting midnight purple paint that GT-R enthusiasts know and love, now belongs to a lucky Japanese buyer. While this particular shade might seem like a fitting tribute to the model's heritage, it's actually a nod to the original Skyline GT-Rs that wore similar purple hues back in the 1990s. The symbolism feels intentional, bridging the gap between past and future in typical Nissan fashion.
What you see is its ultimate physical expression, the all-new Nissan GT-R. With a handcrafted 6-cylinder twin-turbo VR38 engine that can take you from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.6 seconds. New dual-clutch transmission based on Formula 1 technology with all-wheel drive for matchless handling, featuring a unique independent transaxle with 480 horsepower. The GT-R is up for any competitive challenge.
When Nissan first unleashed the R35 in 2007, few predicted it would maintain such a lengthy production cycle. Over 18 years, approximately 48,000 units found homes across the globe, with each one representing a small piece of automotive history. These numbers might seem modest compared to mainstream vehicles, but for a specialized supercar, they represent remarkable staying power in an increasingly competitive market. Australia received 993 of these machines before local sales ended in 2021, not due to lack of demand, but because of evolving safety regulations. The implementation of new Australian design rules for side impact protection meant the aging R35 could no longer meet local requirements. This regulatory challenge foreshadowed what would eventually become a global issue for the platform, as emission standards and safety requirements continue to evolve beyond what the original design could accommodate. The geographic distribution of these 48,000 cars tells an interesting story about changing automotive markets. While Japan and North America remained strong markets throughout the production run, emerging economies began showing increased appetite for high-performance vehicles, helping sustain demand even as the design aged. What made the R35 special wasn't just its aggressive styling or impressive performance figures. It was the meticulous attention to detail that went into every single unit. The twin turbocharged 3.8-liter VR38DETT engine served as the beating heart of every GT-R, but calling it mass-produced would be misleading. Each power plant was hand-assembled by one of 9 master craftsmen, known as takumi in Japanese tradition, who signed their work with personalized plaques. This artisanal approach to engine building represented something increasingly rare in modern automotive manufacturing. While most performance cars rely on automated assembly lines, Nissan maintained this human touch throughout the R35's entire production run. The result was an engine that delivered not just impressive numbers, but also a character and personality that owners could feel behind the wheel. Power output grew significantly over the years, starting at 353 kilowatts and 588 newton meters of torque, before climbing to 419 kilowatts and 632 newton meters in later iterations. The range-topping Nismo variant pushed these figures even higher, delivering 441 kilowatts and 652 newton meters. These increases came through careful refinement rather than wholesale redesigns, demonstrating the original platform's inherent potential. Unlike many performance cars that undergo dramatic mid-cycle refreshes, the GT-R maintained its distinctive silhouette throughout its production run. This consistency wasn't due to laziness or cost-cutting, but rather a philosophy that prioritized functional improvements over cosmetic changes. Each update brought meaningful enhancements to suspension tuning, aerodynamics, and powertrain calibration. The 6-speed dual-clutch transmission and sophisticated all-wheel drive system received continuous refinement, helping the car maintain its competitive edge even as newer rivals emerged. These mechanical improvements often went unnoticed by casual observers, but they made significant differences in real-world performance and driving dynamics. This evolutionary approach allowed Nissan to perfect the GT-R formula gradually, addressing weaknesses and enhancing strengths without losing the essential character that made the car special. The result was a vehicle that remained relevant and desirable throughout its extended production cycle, even as automotive technology advanced rapidly around it. The conclusion of R35 production doesn't signal the end of the GT-R story, but rather the beginning of a new chapter. Nissan President and CEO Ivan Espinosa has made clear commitments to the nameplate's future, though the next generation will likely look very different from its predecessor. The transition toward electrification means the R35 will probably hold the distinction of being the final purely gasoline-powered GT-R. The Hyperforce concept, unveiled at a recent Tokyo Motor Show, offered tantalizing glimpses of what an electric GT-R might become. With promised output of 1,000 kilowatts and solid-state battery technology, the concept suggests Nissan isn't planning to dial back the performance envelope. Instead, they're exploring how electric propulsion might actually enhance the GT-R experience rather than compromise it. However, this transition presents unique challenges. As Nissan's global product chief, Pierre Loing, noted, there's ongoing debate about what defines a GT-R in an electrified world. The mechanical symphony of the VR38DETT engine and the visceral connection between driver and machine that characterize the R35 will require reimagining rather than simple translation to electric power. The final R35's journey from the Tochigi factory represents more than just another car completing production. It marks the end of an era when a relatively small Japanese manufacturer could challenge established European supercars and win. The GT-R proved that engineering excellence, attention to detail, and genuine passion for performance could create something truly special, regardless of badge prestige or country of origin. As automotive enthusiasts bid farewell to Godzilla in its current form, they can take comfort knowing that Nissan remains committed to the GT-R legacy. While the next chapter may unfold differently, the foundation of performance, innovation, and craftsmanship established by the R35 will undoubtedly influence whatever emerges next. Sometimes the best tributes to legendary vehicles aren't found in museums, but in the continued pursuit of automotive excellence they inspire.